Hello.
Hello.
Welcome to Two Tangled Skeins. I'm Sue, also known as Crafty Knitter 7. I'd like to welcome any welcome any new viewers, and thanks for the viewers coming back. This is take 2.
And we're not going for take 3.
No. Today is Saturday, September 5th, 2015, and this is episode 126. And as you can see, this is not Lynn.
That's true. I'm Selma, also known as Selma123 on Ravelry. That's the only place I am at this point.
She'll be on Instagram soon.
I just, you know what, life's been a little bit crazy, so I haven't really had a chance to do a whole lot of extra stuff.
Yep.
And I forget about it. Anyway, so there you go.
Oh, once you get on, it's almost as bad as Ravelry. You can find us on YouTube under Two Tangled Skeins, our blog, which is twotangledskeins.com, and come join our Ravelry group, because if you're not a member of the Ravelry group, you cannot win the prizes. And I noticed Ravelry group, we're at 1,253. Our YouTube account, we're over 1,300.
Cool.
So those of you who are not on Ravelry, you need to go there so that you can participate and win prizes.
That's neat.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
So,
It is.
How are you?
I'm very glad to be in the Two Tangled Skein bubble. This is where I am. It's nice. My life's been a little bit crazy. Just a little bit crazy, with a parent in and out of the hospital and stuff like that. So I've been doing all kinds of non-knitting and non-work relaid things around that.
Extracurricular activities, not in the
yeah,
kind of way you want them to be.
It's been a rough summer, but we are getting to the end of it, and which is great. And so it's nice to just be here. And I was saying to Sue, I'm in such a weird mood, but I can tell that it's going to be different by the time we finish recording. It's just going to go away.
It just does that to you.
Yeah, exactly. It's the bubble.
You're talking to your peeps.
We're in the blue bubble, you see.
And everybody, I have statistics that I look at on YouTube. Every time you're on the show, our views skyrocket. One of our episodes with you, 1,440 views.
Well, that could just be because people are watching.
Well, there's that too, but
Yeah.
the ones with you on it tend to spike. So
Well, I thank
It's
you
a
for the
good thing.
compliment, although I think you might have a rather high opinion of me.
of course I do. Aren't we friends?
I
Didn't you
guess
teach me anything? The minions are on.
Okay, so begins the wackiness.
Yep. It just is. So
Yeah. So anyway, I'm glad to be here. You know?
I don't like doing them alone.
No, it's fun when there are 2
Yeah.
or 3.
Yeah.
And if we could fit 4
Alone. Yeah. Well, it can be done.
Well, there used to be that hand,
Yes.
right?
The hand that's no longer the hand.
No.
Hi, Lynn.
Yeah.
Oh, and for those of you who'd like to know, Lynn is in Chicago for the long weekend. So yay.
Great.
Yay her.
Yeah.
So you got
Very
any FOs?
I do. Well, I was cheeky last time, and I said that I was going to try and wear one every time I came on. So I am wearing an FO. I'm going to say 3 years old, eh?
Yeah. Because we were still in the old building.
Yeah. It was from an Interweave magazine. It's called The Stafford Tea by Amy Christophers. And you knit one as well.
Yes, I just didn't do the lace.
She didn't do the lace. She just
wasn't
did this
really
plain.
good at that stuff back then, so.
Yeah. And
mine's orange.
Did you make it in Hempathy too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I picked orange, and you were like, I thought you'd pick green, and luckily I didn't. Matchy.
Yeah. So, it's funny because it kind of got shoved into the back of my closet, and I was not paying a whole lot of attention to this t-shirt. And when I realized, I swore I was going to wear a different FO every time I came in. Now I got to find something because I've pretty much worn the ones that I'm wearing all the time.
Well, fall's coming, so you can bring all those out.
Yeah.
Sweater.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, anyway, although it's been a non-sweater summer for me.
And that's very rare.
It's totally unusual.
Because normally in the summers when you knock down your sweater quantities and then you replenish them in the fall.
Yeah, well, I'm trying really hard not to do that.
Right back.
No, it's not going to happen. Anyway, back to the sweater. So, so this is the Stafford Tee by Amy Christophers. We both made it. We both made it in Hempathy by Elspeth Labald, right?
Yeah.
And I made it in a green colorway. It was a very enjoyable knit. Why have I not been wearing it?
Because it was in the bottom of your closet?
Well, that was kind of on purpose. I was a little
Okay.
angry at the sweater.
Oh. All right, there's a story here.
Well, and if you decide to
Tell
make
us
this sweater,
what was
I will
wrong.
tell you what this was. If you decide to make this sweater, one of the instructions, it's a bottom up.
Yes.
And you used a larger needle at the bottom. And then
Yes.
you went to a smaller
I
needle.
remember that.
And I didn't like
The transition.
I didn't like the transition because I found that the bottom ended up being a little bit loose.
Flappy.
And although now, yeah, a little bit flappy. So, but you know, this morning I put it on and I went to see a friend for a few minutes and she was like, great top. I'm like, oh, maybe it's okay. Maybe it can come out of the naughty portion of the naughty corner in the closet. The other thing that was kind of funny, but I don't think it's noticeable at all, is that I ran out of yarn. And so I ended up buying another two
It is
balls,
a different color.
and I knit the lace with a different dye lot. And so
But I never noticed it.
you don't really notice it unless you're
because
really
it's
looking
broken
at it.
up.
And because it's just where the lace starts.
Mm-hmm.
But you can see it on the sleeve and
Yeah, but I didn't.
the bottom portion
Because
slightly
when you're
more.
looking in the camera, you think it's darker because you can see skin.
Yeah.
But it's...
Yeah. So, but I like the way it sits up here, and this yarn I would knit with again and again and again. It's a great yarn.
What was the content again?
It was something like a cotton linen modal or something.
There was something in it because it didn't hurt my hands.
No, it had hemp and
Right.
cotton,
Yeah.
and there was a third.
Yeah, because the
fiber.
Paloma, I was trying to knit with cotton and I couldn't do it. I ripped out half a sweater.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about that later.
Right. Yeah. So that's one FO, the one that I'm wearing, and then
Pretty.
the other FO I haven't put in the ends yet. Well, they're not quite big enough.
Oh, they're tiny. That's right.
Well, they're tiny but long. These are socks that I made for my daughter.
Sorry.
She's getting a lot of stuff this summer, man.
And she's wearing it.
Yeah.
So maybe she's crossed that threshold of
Yeah.
Mommy knit me something and then not wearing
The
it.
top that I made for her, she wears, and I made her the little bluebird of happiness in a variegated yarn that I had dyed.
Mm-hmm.
And for the first week, she slept with it every night.
That
was
is
very
awesome.
cute. So these are the socks that are from a Wendy D. Johnson book called Toe Socks for Everybody. And they are the critter socks in here, which are meant for a little girl. And they're actually socks.
And I'm really sorry if you can hear noise. That is my husband outside with the weed whacker.
These are meant to be a stockinette sock with color work. I didn't do that. And
Of
I
course
actually
not. Patterns.
Well, they're guidelines, right? I ended up doing kind of a ribbed cable going up.
Oh, that's really cute.
Yeah. And I made the largest size, but you know, I kind of wish that I had, this is 56 stitches, which is not far off from an adult size,
No.
and yet it's quite skinny as a
It's the
sock.
ribbing in the cable.
Yeah,
that
so I
pulls
kind
it
of
in.
think I should have probably made a few more stitches around, but that's okay. It's turned out really well. And I'm not as much of a sock knitter as you guys are. And I've been struggling to find a way to make socks that makes me want to knit socks all the time.
Yeah.
I like the toe up.
I like toe up because there's no Kitchener.
Yep. But the heel has been a bit of a challenge.
I've been doing the short row heel that is in the pattern Socks on a Plane by Laura Linneman. That is my heel for every single sock.
Right.
I love it.
Well, I'm going to try and make these in an adult. This is just a regular gusset heel, so you create a gusset, and then there are no wraps and turns, because I'm just not big on the wrap and turn.
And see, I don't like that kind of heel because you have to pick up stitches after, and
this is one where you do togethers, pearl togethers and
so you're not picking
SSKs.
up.
No,
Okay.
You end up doubling the number of stitches by doing the gusset, and then you're eliminating them as you go up.
Okay.
It's really
So
fast.
it's not your standard flap and then pick up those stitches and do the heel.
No, and in her book, it's called a gusset heel. In her other book, because I also will be showing you this book by Wendy D. Johnson as well.
I so need to get those books.
And
they just seem like a good thing to turn to.
Well, and I've got them, so you can borrow them. That gusset heel is in here.
I love that sock. That white sock just makes
gusset heel basic. It's in her book, and you can see how it goes up the back of the heel. So it becomes kind of like a V on the back of the heel.
Yeah.
And I really like it. It's fast. It's easy. And so I'm curious to try it for me.
Yeah.
Because I think it might be a little on the snug side as a heel. So I'll have to experiment with that. And I don't think I would do it for my husband, for example, because he destroys socks. And he would need a proper heel flap with some slip stitches to make it a little tighter.
Yeah.
But that's it. Two of them.
Because that's a pair.
And I just have to sew in the ends. I've been kind of lazy.
And she tried them on.
She tried them on, and in fact, I took pictures, and they're on my page.
Oh, cool.
She did like an extreme first position.
Oh, I saw that.
Position. Yeah.
Her feet are extremely like this. I'm like, that looks painful for me.
I said, go into a first position, and I'm like, okay. So there you go. That's my foe.
Cool.
Yeah. How about you?
No foes.
No foes?
No foes. But I do have a tail.
You have a tail?
A tail as in a story.
Oh, right.
Didn't you know? How long?
Oh, no. I think they need to be on camera if they're going to be part of the show.
All the friends who have sent those to me are going to enjoy it. So, my tail as in a story, not a... Yeah.
I'm looking at your hair going, ponytail?
After the podcast last week, Lynn convinced me, badgered me, made me, I don't know, however you want to call it, to take out my French can-can. She wanted to get me a few rows more into it so that I could finish it, because I literally had this much of the border to finish. But there were several dropped stitches that were being held with stitch markers, and though every time I talked about the French can-can with her, those came up. And she's like, you're not happy with it. And she's like, you're not going to be happy with it. And the cable is lost in the variegation of the yarn. I was like, yeah, I know, you're right.
Which yarn were you using? I don't remember.
I was using a green and brown variegated Three Irish Girls. And so she convinced me that she's going to frog it. And I said, oh, I can't deal with it. She's like, you turn around and do show notes. I'll sit behind you and frog it. So then my husband walks in, looks at me and says, what's the matter? And I pointed to her. And he looked and he went, oh, that's your... But I'm like, just let her do her thing.
She's taking over.
I was mourning. So the French can-can is no more.
Okay.
And then later that day and the next day, I pulled out every single project that was sitting up in a closet in a bag, in a big plastic bag full of project bags. And I frogged 15 projects in total.
That's incredible.
So then Lynn says, where's the green top? The Paloma.
Oh.
I'm like, I don't know.
You hadn't frogged it yet?
No.
You had just stopped knitting it?
Yeah. Because the cotton was hurting my hands. And I'm like, I don't know. So I looked in one of the bins that was up there, and it was tucked away in a bin, so I really didn't want to see it. So I frogged that too.
So that's 16?
Yeah.
Wow.
And then
From all that startitis.
Yeah, and I promptly went on to Ravelry and deleted all those projects.
Okay. So now you've got like 15 new things in your stash, pretty much.
Pretty much.
It's like a whole bunch of
stash. But
stash
they're not new. They've always been in the stash. Just knit up partially.
Yeah.
So, yeah. and at first it was just like deciding whether to frog it or not, but I really like it. But it's been sitting there, and look at my project page, how long it's been sitting there, and went, okay, it's got to go.
How do you feel about all that?
At first I felt really depressed because I'm like, I did do a lot of work on a lot of those projects, and it was just like,
yeah.
But ultimately, after talking to the girls on the VKN and stuff, I feel better. It's done. They were sitting there anyway doing nothing.
Oh, and there's no project going, knit me, knit me, knit me.
And there's no project going, the viewers going, you should finish that. So all of you who wanted me to finish the can, unfortunately it didn't happen. But I did pick out new yarn for a new one.
Oh.
In a plain color, like a neutral. You'll love it when I show you later.
I bet you I will.
Actually, I think it's in the blue bag.
This one?
Yeah.
No. She's got...
Yes. Wait. No. Red bag.
She has got this great shelf here.
I'm not sure which bag it's in. That doesn't feel like 2 balls of yarn, does it?
This one did feel like 2 balls of yarn, though.
No, I think that's the toys. So it's probably in the yellow bag up there. Yeah, because I have a few bags up there. Just saying. But that's all active. Whatever's there is active. That's it. There's no more. Is it great?
Oh my gosh.
I knew you'd love it.
I do. That's stunning. You want to show it?
Sure.
So it's going to be in Selma's favorite color.
Which is...
beautiful.
Woolly Wonka, 50 merino, 50 silk.
Yeah. Now that's going to be perfect. It's going to be perfect.
And that's not in my normal, I would choose that color. Why I bought it, I have no idea. It was a D-Statch. I don't know why I bought it.
It's beautiful.
Yep. So, that's my tale. My stories. So, what's poking around on the needles? I got me some socks on the needles that I forgot to show last week. This yarn is amazing.
That is, I love the colors. It's another girly kind of sock.
Yeah. So, of course, 2 at a time, toe up, plain vanilla sock. And this is the Gummy Bear colorway from Knit Picks, the Felici Special Edition.
Oh, yes.
So here are all the colors in it.
That's going to be so much fun.
Yeah. So I'm really liking that. And it's balled up, so I'm going to go as long as I can and then probably do a 2 to 3 inch ribbing. So it'll stay up. Because it's plain stockinette, it might slip down. So I'm knitting on that, and it is on 2.75 millimeters, which is a US 2. And these are just needles I got off eBay. I got 12 pairs for $8.
Of, what are they? Needles.
Yeah.
They're needles.
And it's kind of like the red Chiao Goo.
Yeah, what is this made of?
I think it's aluminum. I can look it up for you. But yeah, I got like 12 pairs for $7. That was like mine. So anytime I need that extra pair,
yeah,
I just go through them. And it is in one of my bags. When Diane was making the bags, the knotted bag, I had got this from her.
It's adorable.
She was actually making it for herself. And when I saw it on Instagram, I kind of told her I had to have it. And she sold it to me. It's so cute.
It's very cute.
What else is on my needles? What did I put down? Oh, the flax. I've gotten some progress on my husband's sweater, and he's very happy when he sees me knitting on it. I'm 12 and a half inches into the stockinette portion of 17 inches.
Okay.
So, I'm getting there. I'm going to have to make myself a bigger sweater bag. If I can get it. So, it is growing immensely.
It is.
And the progress is one of my stitch markers because I don't know if you can see it. A sweater needs a sweater. It's got a little sweater on it.
Aww.
And then over here on this side I put another marker when I measured 12 and a half inches. I know from there I don't have to measure the whole sweater again. I can just go from there. So this is the Flax by Tin Can Knits. Those of you who've watched for a while know that Lynn made one for her son. And those of you who've watched for a while know this yarn was not originally a Tin Can Knits pattern. It was something else and it got frogged. So this is for my husband. He's been waiting patiently 3 years for this.
So is it going to be a Rhinebeck sweater for him?
Sure. I'm hoping to finish, because once I'm done that, then it's just sleeves.
Yeah.
Because there's no collar to do or anything. And this yarn is discontinued now because it is 3 years old. It is out of SMC Northern Wool Tweed from Webs, and on size 5 millimeters, which is US 8. So, yeah, my husband has a long torso. But when I measured him, he fit in exactly to one size. Arms, waist, everything was the size of, like, he measured the right size for that pattern size.
Excellent.
Which is very rare.
Yes. It's not always easy to size.
No. And I will show you the pattern for those of you who want to see what it looks like. So basically, it's a sweater for the whole family. So if you want to try knitting a sweater, it's top down, seamless. You split off for the sleeves, continue to the bottom, and then you pick up for the sleeves and go. And I'm going to do the sleeves 2 at a time. Hoping
Excellent.
that I hope I'll be able to kind of manipulate it to.
Might be a little on the awkward side.
Or I might put needles on both and just like go back and forth and knit,
Yeah.
so that when I'm done, I'm done. Like my socks.
There'll be some decreasing, right?
Yes.
So you'll just have to keep track of that.
Yeah, I'll be able to do that. I'm a much better knitter now than I was before. So that's that. And the other thing,
Well, that's the beauty. You know, you just keep doing it.
like
and
I
you'll
could
learn.
tackle this pattern now.
Yeah.
Because I've been doing some lace. Like I just made a pair of lace mitts for somebody, and I've done other lace, right? I've knit a multnomah.
Yeah.
I'm not so against charts anymore. So the other thing that it's not a cast on, but it's a project, is I started my fibre friends. I started with the alphabets.
I bought a whole bunch of stuff to actually start doing some cross stitching.
So this is what
Sorry.
go ahead. This is what it looks like. This is my chart. So it is by the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. If you don't know her patterns, you need to go check them out because she has some pretty amazing ones. And it came with a pink sparkly fabric, and I did not like it. I sent that to someone who likes pink and sparkly. And then
It's got its place.
It's got its place. I knew she would love it, and I knew I wouldn't love it.
Yeah.
And then this is part of stash, but I'm going to show it now. Do you like my needle minder? Let's see if it'll focus. No. Not going to focus.
I think you might have to read it.
See it. Ow. Needle. It says, I never met a cupcake I didn't like. See if I can get it to focus this way. There we go. Isn't that cute? And, oh, I forget the shop name. Lindsay's Stitches on Etsy, I think. And it's rare earth stones. Is that what you call them? Rare earth magnets. And,
Oh,
yeah. Like
Oh, interesting.
you have to slide it, and you're not supposed to slam them together because you could damage
very
it.
interesting.
So,
Yeah, and they're
but
very
it
strong.
does not move off of here. So, yep.
That's
and-
a great work in progress.
Yeah, and guess what it fits in? My sweater bag. I'm trying to find something to take it to knit night with me, and I'm like, I don't have a big enough bag. I'm gonna have to make one. And then I'm like, well, maybe it'll fit. This is actually a little bigger than the sweater bag that I make, but
But you know what? That would fit Sean's sweater as well.
aren't you smart?
So maybe you just need to make another one like that.
Or make a nice square one like for this, because I have one
Yeah.
over there for my smaller one.
Mm-hmm. So there you go.
Aren't you fancy? And that is all my works in progress.
Oh, I won't start a row. Then,
Don't.
because that means it's my turn.
It is.
Oh my goodness. So after I finished the socks for my daughter, I had it came in two balls.
I love that. Is that the Fortissima?
This is the Fortissima Mexico.
Is that the stuff I gave you?
You gave me one ball.
Okay.
And then I went to Knit Knackers when it was still on Bank Street, and they had
Found
the exact same yarn, so I bought another one.
Okay.
And that's what I made it out of.
One ball?
No, 1.2.
Okay. Well, you
It
haven't.
Didn't take a whole lot. Took about 1.2.
Okay.
So I had almost a whole ball left. And so yesterday I started, I thought I thought I was either going to do two things. These socks were going to be for charity, and I thought they would either our school does a Christmas sale, and I thought I might either sell a few knitted items for a charity there, or there's a group that sends stuff to Nunavut where they really need warm things, like no acrylic. It's got to be wool, alpaca, mohair. So I thought, that's it. I'm going to make a pair of socks for a little girl. And yesterday,
you've made it so cute.
There's a little sock. There's one little sock. Isn't that cute?
Oh, it's adorable.
And I used the critter pattern that I'd used for Isla's socks. I just didn't do any cabling on it. I did the same heel, and I did a ribbing for the top. Isn't that adorable? Could almost be like a keychain. So that's also the critter pattern.
It's a notions pouch.
I used the largest pattern for Isla, the largest, which was 56. I think. And that's 40 stitches.
That's awesome.
And
some little girl is going to love that.
She's going to have warm feet.
And pretty feet.
Yeah. And, so yesterday I made that. Mm-hmm. And I got this far on the second one.
Yeah, small socks are fast, aren't they?
Boy, are they ever fast. And
especially if you're going, just one more color.
Just one more color. Or you're watching podcasts because you've actually got an evening free.
What's that? I know what that is. I have teenagers. What is that to you?
For me, honestly, it's been...
Was your husband gone?
My husband took my in-laws to the States, to Pittsburgh, to see a distant relative.
Oh.
So they left early yesterday morning. I've been off for the last 2 weeks dealing with parent stuff. Just all kinds of stuff.
When they get older. Stuff.
You know, houses, finances, all kinds of stuff. So I did some of that yesterday. And then my daughter was invited to a friend's cottage.
Oh. So
and my son was very happy playing video games with his friend. And then I thought, podcasts. So I watched 4 podcasts
Did
yesterday.
you retreat to the basement?
No, he was in the basement.
Okay, so you stayed
I
upstairs.
was in the living room, and I watched an episode. The most recent episode of Stitched in Sweden. I watched the most recent episode of Yarngasm.
I have to watch her. I started a while ago and then stopped.
And she does a lot of sewing, so it's fun to... I don't sew, but I'm starting to actually think that I might want to because of these people who are sewing and making dresses and fun things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a maxi dress I want to make.
And then I watched the Fluffy Fibres, which is a woman, Isabelle, in France, and she sews a lot. Mm-hmm. And so...
You're being influenced.
I'm starting to be influenced.
Drink the crazy juice, huh?
Yeah, and when I was cleaning out
cross-stitch, sewing.
My parents' basement, I was like, hey, there's a sewing machine there. Anyway, I've always hated sewing. I always said, give me 2 sticks and I'll make you a sweater, but
if you find something you like to make, it might change.
It might just change.
Yeah.
So I watched Fluffy Fibres, which I really enjoy, and I watched for the first time Knitting Expat.
Oh!
So hello, Mina.
Mina! I love Mina!
Really enjoyed it. And it was her most recent episode, and there was footage from Dubai, which was neat to see, and it was great to see her projects, and really enjoyed that. And so in those 4 episodes, I knit a sock and half of another one.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Glad we could help podcasters.
Really great. And
I don't know if you're the same as me, but when I get into a podcast, I know I need to knit something not too intricate so that I can focus and don't really have to look at my knitting. So, like, I pick up a sweater and just go around. Just keep going in a circle. Yeah. And I get into the zone.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I'm almost finished, but I was not able to finish it. I have to tell you that I promised myself that I would not come on the 2 Tangled Skeins without an FO. Like a recent FO, not a sweater. So this week I was like, oh my gosh, I've got to finish something.
Okay, now you're making me feel like I need to produce.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No.
That was not my...
No. Lynn's finishing things, you're finishing things, I'm frogging.
That's productive.
Those are my
too.
FOs. I frogged.
Yeah, exactly.
So you're giving yourself the challenge.
Yeah. And so I was hoping to have my Shaylin finished, but it's not. Hey, and it's being housed in the bag you gave me, which I love very much. And I actually have my first progress keeper, which is the same as yours, a little ball of yarn.
Yep.
So I thought, okay, I think I need to, because I need to figure, I want to make about this much more. Am I holding this right? Yeah. So I'm almost there, but I don't want it to be a shawlette. I want a proper shawl.
Yeah.
So I'd rather it be large than small.
Yep.
But
you have a purpose.
I do.
Is that the piece you want to bring to work?
Yeah.
Leave at work?
Yeah. So it's got to be, because it can be cold there. But we're getting there.
Oh, yeah.
And I think, I don't know where I was last time I was here, probably about here. And I, you know what? Not only have I not knit a sweater this summer, except for the one I made for Isla, I'm knitting more than one thing at a time. Have you noticed?
Yeah. It's a little strange.
Yep. Don't know.
See, I knit more than one thing at a time because it depends on my mood. I'll open up a project bag and go, no. Like last night, I picked up the sweater, and that's all I knit on. And the girls were like, what are you knitting on? And we were on the VKN, and I'm like, just going stocking it in the round. My brain just cannot focus. Because I had a 4-hour nap yesterday afternoon.
And then you were kind of like...
I was fuzzy brained.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it depends on your mood.
Well, I'm starting to notice that a little bit. I'm changing as a knitter.
You're moody?
Well, yeah. And there are some stitch markers that you gave me.
Yes.
And the stitch marker that is on the center of this one is one of these. Let's see if we can find it. I love your stitch markers because they don't...
They're snagless.
Well, they're snagless. It's got a little turquoise bead on it. And they're light. Yeah. You know, and so they don't take up a lot of space, and they're simple. I really like them a lot.
Thank you.
So the Shaylin is being knit with Estelle Arequipa in black, and I promise it will be an FO the next time. And then...
Oh, that's cute.
This is a new bag I got.
Look at you, Etsy shopping.
Yeah. Yeah, Ravelry and Etsy. That's right. Well, you know what? It's all these enabling podcasters, isn't it? Although this bag, I don't know how I came across this person on Etsy. Her name is Elska, but her Etsy shop name is Yellow Stitch Bags. And they're made out of linen.
I may or may not have gone and perused.
You may or may not have. I really, this has got cameras on it. They're all box bags. And
they're a nice size, too.
They're a nice size, and I had seen somebody walking down the street with a tote bag out of this fabric. And I realized it probably came from that woman. Maybe not. And then I somehow found her. I was like, oh, there's that fabric. And I was looking for project bags. So I've got this box bag. And in it is a pair of socks that I started a year ago.
Wow.
And...
It's not like you. You're just...
You're
changing.
Like, I don't know what's happening to me.
Those are beautiful.
Yeah, this is She Paints. It's a silk bamboo sock blend. And I was going to make a plain sock and then change my mind partway up.
Well, that's like me.
Lace.
I'm about here going, I should really do something.
Well, that's about where I started it, right? Like usually you start the lace once the toe is finished, and I started it a bit further up because there is a pair of socks, not in here, in this other Wendy Johnson book that I had been eyeing for a long time. So this is coming out of this first one. It's, what does she call it? Her diagonal lace socks.
Oh, gorgeous.
And so that's actually got a proper heel flap on it. So I'm going to try that and we'll see how I like it. Or maybe I'll modify it. I don't know. Anyway, so I started doing the lace. And I don't know if you can see the colors. I'm calling these my pink army socks because there's kind of...
It kind of is.
It's sort of camouflage.
But it's feminine.
But there's pink and purple in there and green and stuff. So
it's really pretty.
Yeah. And when I'm finished the little girl socks, this is going to...
You're going to motor.
They're flat. Now, these I'm knitting on 2 millimeters. And
which is a US 0.
And Sue and I were having a conversation, I think, before we started recording, where I was saying I've moved to 2 1/4 millimeter. And even though it's a quarter of a millimeter, it actually makes a difference. It's more enjoyable to knit with. And I considered frogging this and starting over. But the sock fits really well, so I think I'm just going to finish this one, but then I think from now on it's 2 1/4 millimeters, and that's that. And these are just some arrow needles. But look, they bend when they're they end up bending, and I just think it's better when they're slightly thicker. Mm-hmm. So that's another.
Very nice.
And then I thought, okay, Selma, you've got to knit a sweater. Because some people gather sock yarns, and I gather sweater quantities.
This has been an ongoing list for how many years? The little book with all the sweater quantities in it.
She's not kidding.
I'm not. I love it.
I'm too shy to show my book.
I carry... I carry a notebook in my purse now, too. Thank you.
You do?
Yeah.
I'm glad I enabled you,
mm-hmm.
not only the other way around.
Nope.
Here. Okay, I'm going to show you.
She's going to show it. And she has a special pen.
The pens. This time it's this gold book.
Oh, nice.
But I do have in here my lists of yarns, and they're handwritten, and I cross them out as I go through them. So there is the worsted on this side, the DK and sport weight on that side. These are sweater quantities. I have 27 sweater quantities.
I don't feel so bad.
So you're buying single skeins. I'm buying multiples.
You're saving for the apocalypse. Knit all the sweaters.
I will be well clothed during the apocalypse. Other people will have warm feet. So I am going to knit. I swatched the other day. I'm going to be using this Merino Luxe. Oh, and I forgot to tell you that.
You didn't tell me what it was.
I forgot. Sorry.
It's okay.
This is the same stuff I used for my coda.
Okay.
It's a Merino Luxe. It's a merino mohair. I made my coda, which was that sweater with the weird cabling and lace on the back and stuff, out of this, but in cream. And I loved that yarn so much that I went back and bought a vest.
So what
quantity.
are you making?
So I'm going to make a vest. There is the swatch. It's coming up a little bit more. No, that's the color right there. It's sort of a bright navy. And I'm making this grandfather vest. It's from this Knitting 24/7 book that came out a few years ago. Veronique Avery. And it's the grandfather, actually there's a full picture in there. It's the grandfather vest from that book.
That's really nice.
Yeah. And I've been eyeing that since I bought this book. Whenever I bought it.
Same
4 years ago or something like that. And so
I want to make the socks on the front.
Yeah, there's a lot of great patterns in here actually. I bought it primarily for this skirt, which I've never made. There's a skirt pattern in here. Right there, I don't know if you can see it well. That's the main reason I bought this book, but there are a lot of nice patterns in here. So that is what I'm going to make in that. So I'm just swatching it, and I'm expecting to start that in...
What size needles are you going to make it on?
I'm thinking 4 because 4 is the size that I'm getting. It's 20.
You're getting close to gauge?
I'm getting gauge with 4 millimeter. And I'm liking the fabric.
Now is that a DK or a worsted?
It's a worsted.
Okay.
But yeah, I think 4 millimeters is going to be good for a vest. For the structure of the fabric.
Yeah.
And that, at the moment, but it won't stay there, is in another one of your baggies.
My birdies.
The birdie bag.
Yep.
All right, that's enough, eh?
Yeah. So we have questions.
Ooh.
We have questions to answer. And you can go ahead with yours because it's the oldest question.
Yeah, Holly, who is also Mulhall on Ravelry and a friend of ours from the Ottawa Ravelry group, she asked a question that's directed at me. She said, I'd like to know about Selma's yarn shopping adventures in Peru. I think it's Peru. Wait, Uruguay. I'm not drunk. Just forget. I swear.
That's Holly in a nutshell. Love her.
So, yeah, it's not Peru, it's Uruguay. And the reason she's asking is because I do go to Uruguay about every 2 or 3 years. My husband's from there. And it was probably about 3 trips ago that I went for the first time. That I did a little bit of investigation.
Is that when you brought me back the brown Malagrigo? Yeah.
I think that was the second trip.
Okay.
I think the first trip I brought something else. Anyway, there are 3 companies in Uruguay that export yarn primarily. There's Manos de Uruguay, which you've probably all heard of. There's Malabrigo, which you've probably heard of as well. And then there's Punta Yarns. So that 3 trips ago, I sort of looked into these different companies and wrote them to see if I could visit their factories and so forth. Malabrigo was a great place to visit. Mm-hmm. Their factory, they really, you walk in and it smells like wet yarn that's being soaked in vinegar and stuff, and it's a pretty down-to-earth operation. It's in a rather interesting area of Montevideo, which is the capital of Uruguay. It's a very industrial area. It's in an industrial building. Kind of weird, like you have to take this, if the elevator's working, it's the freight elevator, and there's water dripping and the stairwell's dark and it looks like there's been a fire, and it's in this area of the city that my family was like, okay, we're taking you, you can't go there by public transportation because it's a little bit
off the beaten path.
Yeah, and then there are shanty towns nearby, and it's a rather poor area. They're on, I think, the 4th floor, and it's like one of those industrial buildings, so they're huge windows, some of which are broken, and you walk in and there's the rooms where the yarn's being kettle dyed, and then there are rooms where they're drying the yarn, and then they've got the shelves where they have all the bags that they send to different countries, mm-hmm. and you can buy those from them for what do you call it? Warehouse prices, or whatever they would sell to a store at cost. And then they have a whole section of the mistakes.
That's where mine came from.
Yeah, and that's where I pretty much, because most of the time, unless I want to buy an entire bag of yarn, I go through there and see what I can find.
It's a gorgeous mistake, if you ask me.
Most of the time, they're gorgeous mistakes. Most of the time, I'm like,
they're
what's
not what
the
they
problem?
Were going for.
What's the problem with this skein? It's great. Recently, the last time I went, I brought some sock, and it was full of breaks in the yarn when I tried to wind it. But that was the first time. Every time the skeins have been perfectly fine. Maybe there's a knot. Clearly, the dye job wasn't exactly what they were looking for, but they sell them for.
It was like,
it's a lot cheaper.
I remember you told me like it was like $3 a skein.
Oh, it was $5 American a skein, and now it's $7. The prices have gone up.
It's still.
But they open their doors. They allow you to go in. They're happy to tell you about the business, and that was, it was a great experience. And they're really nice, and they just let you look around and do your thing. And it takes a while sometimes to decide, but I usually walk out with quite a bit of yarn from there. Manos de Uruguay, they don't allow you to go to their yarn dyeing factory.
Oh, okay.
That's an interesting company in the sense that they export yarn here, but they don't sell their yarn in Uruguay. And actually, Malabrigo didn't either. Only this last time we went last December. Now they're starting to sell their yarn in a few kind of funky shops in Montevideo, in a more touristic area.
So
because
is it because they make more money by selling it abroad?
Well, I think partly, and partly Uruguayans. I don't know. I think that just hasn't been part of their knitting tradition to knit with hand-dyed yarns.
Okay.
And I think it's slowly coming in. I think they tend to knit with cotton. They tend to knit with acrylic.
Because it's hot there, right?
Well, they have, 10 degrees in the winter.
Okay.
It's rainy and damp. But
is our winter their summer?
Yeah, it's opposite.
So right now it's winter, and
right now
here.
it's like late spring. It's getting into spring for them.
Okay.
Like we're going into
so
fall.
that's why your family comes here, because it's summer here.
Yeah.
Very smart.
Yeah. And when we go there when it's our winter. and it's their summer,
Yeah.
right? Their December is like our June.
Okay.
So, and their January is like our July. So it's hot then.
Yeah.
So Manos de Uruguay, they in Uruguay sell clothing, knitted clothing. They have a lot of shops there for their goods. They sell, and it's actually not only knitted goods. They sell leather goods, all kinds of national handmade things. So Manos de Uruguay kind of means like handiwork from Uruguay.
Okay.
Right? Mano is hand in Spanish. So that's what their goal is in Uruguay. And I think the fact that I wrote them looking to buy yarn from them and stuff like that, they just like, we don't know what you want to do this for. And I think they were a little suspicious. And so they directed me towards sort of a warehouse store that they have in Montevideo where they do have some yarn. And I did get some there, but mostly it's not really stuff that I would want to knit with somehow. And so that's Manos. And I go there when I go, and if they happen to have something interesting, I buy something, and if there's nothing, I don't get anything. And then there's Punta Yarns. You have probably, if you've worked with Punta Yarns, you've worked with their space dyed worsted or fingering, or you've worked with their sock, or you've worked with their linen. I've used their linen and love their linen. And loved their store in Montevideo. They had a really small operation. It was a storefront with a little dyeing in the back, and they had a fire. So the first 3 trips ago, I went there and I got yarn and knit with it. And then 2 trips ago, their operation had burnt down, and they could not get a permit to reopen.
So, yeah, because the way they were open wasn't according to guidelines, maybe? Who knows?
My mother-in-law just said, oh, permits can be so difficult to get. Who knows what's going on? And then, last spring, I went into a yarn shop and saw some of the Punta Yarns linen. And I said, I think it was Wabi Sabi here in Ottawa, and I said to the woman, I'm like, when is this linen from? And she said, we just received it. I'm like, oh, they're producing again? And she said, yeah, and I guess they didn't realize that there had been a break in their service. So when we went to Uruguay in December, I said to Alejandro, like, we've got to find Punta Yarns again, because their linen is beautiful. And that's all I've seen here is their linen. So I thought maybe they're only producing linen. So we went back to their storefront, even though that's what's on their website, doesn't exist. And then somehow we found a house address for them. So I was like, well, let's go check it out. We went, we rang the doorbell, no answer. So I have no idea how that's going to evolve. If it's going to evolve, if they're going to have a storefront again.
Wabi Sabi, how they...
Yeah, they must have. Well, they on their website they had a thing for ordering yarn for shops, but just for walk-ins, it's if you want to walk into their store in Montevideo, you're not going to find it. And we tried to call and there was no answer, and so that was a bit of a disappointment because I would have loved to get some linen directly from them and just talk to them. It's fun to talk to them about about their business, and so that was a bit disappointing. Didn't happen. And I think that's it.
Cool.
Yeah, otherwise yarn stores in Uruguay are not terribly exciting, I have to say.
I wonder if they're not terribly exciting because it's just not the trend, or because there's these big factories.
Well, there isn't much of a trend. People don't knit as much, and maybe it's starting to happen as it has been growing again in other cultures. Yeah, they deal a lot with acrylic and cotton, and mostly it would be crochet cotton. So there are crocheters.
Yeah. But they're not doing like sweaters and socks.
Not a whole lot. Maybe, no, they're probably doing baby sweaters. You do see knitted items in the markets, like in the craft markets, and they're usually made out of acrylic, or they're using the Uruguayan wool, but they're not getting it from Malabrigo. They are getting it somewhere, and I don't know where.
Okay.
Yeah. And there's a lot of weaving. That they'll do with it.
Cool.
Yeah. So, yeah. There you go. It's a good question. Thank you, Holly.
I have a question from Mary, who is Pearl Paw on Ravelry. What's your best advice for a first timer at a Stitches event? I'm going to Texas Stitches in September. Now, hopefully you're not there now, because this advice is not going to help you. The advice that I can give is go make yourself a list of your must-haves, your wants.
This is good advice for me, too.
And
it's going to be my first time.
Because when you first get to an event like that, you're going to be overwhelmed. And Lynn will laugh at me and Carrie, but our first Stitches event, we had the floor plan printed out, and it was color-coded. It was color-coded. There was where we wanted to get needles, where we were looking for fiber, and we had these are our top 3 shops we need to go to. And we stuck to it. And then after going to one Stitches event, then I knew, okay, maybe I should walk around once. So we do the whole, it's in a conference center, so it's like a big gymnasium where the actual shops are. And we did the whole thing once. And some people will say, well, what if you see something you like and it's not there when you get back? Well, it's not meant to be. And it has happened.
Yeah.
It has happened. But no, we did the same thing this year. We did a full walk around and then went back to the shops that we really had to see. And that's the best. And give yourself a budget. Really give yourself a budget, because let me tell you, if you don't give yourself a budget, you are probably going to spend more than you think you will.
So here's my question, because I'll be going to Rhinebeck.
We're starting her off big.
Yeah, really, eh? Go big or go home.
Talk to Crystal. Her first one was Rhinebeck.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's your question?
Oh, I just lost my question. Yep, I just lost my question. Jeez. It'll probably come back in a second. That's my brain for you.
So the other question I have is from Deborah, who is Hummingbird5. She's a local. And she said, what reason made you get into podcasting to start with? It seems like such an investment in time, energy, technology. Why do you do it?
Oh, that's a great question.
3 years ago, July, 3 years ago, I just decided I like what these people are doing, but I don't think I could do it solo like some of them are doing. And so I asked Selma to do a podcast with me. And she ran away.
I was like, no. Why would I do that?
No, I can't. No.
I remember we were walking down the street bringing our coffees back, and I was just like,
I was like, but why not? So then I'm like, crap, I'm at ground zero again. Who's going to do a podcast with me? And I had mentioned it, I think at knit night, and Carrie was like, I'll do a podcast with you. And that's how it started. It's an investment in time. Yes, it is. And there have been times in the last 3 years that we've gone without recording. Life happens, things happen, different emotions happen. It's life, so you have to work with it. And it is planning. It is time out of my weekend, yes, but I love it. And I always said from the beginning, if I don't love it, I'm not going to do it. And there was a point where I didn't want to do it anymore. That's a whole other story. And when it comes to the technology, I'm lucky that I have a tech-savvy husband. Very lucky. Because we started recording on my laptop. And tell me, you watched that first episode, it is painful. Then we went to a flip camera. Carrie's dad had I think it was a flip camera, it's called. And then we invested in our first camera, and now we're on our second camera, and so on. But my husband put together an Uber computer for me. It is fast. It doesn't take a lot of time to convert it or to upload it to YouTube. He bought me a really nice microphone because he knew I'd been wanting one. I just got it at Christmas. It works really well. He has helped me look up videos, tips and stuff. Like he just sent me one the other day, how to make your videos at home look very professional. So I'm going to watch that. But it's learning. Like I had to learn how to use Movie Maker. I had to learn how to all these things. And I mean, Movie Maker is only recent because I forget what the other program was we used to use. But it wasn't very good. But yeah, and I mean, I have a whole room. This is the spare bedroom.
Yeah.
And the reason we moved everything to this bedroom is because the other bedroom was smaller. So now at least if I have people come over, I can move the sewing table in the corner, they're still going to have space to get around the bed. But yeah, it's a place to store all my stuff too.
Yeah, and I think, you know what, you got to enjoy it, right?
You do, and I do enjoy it, and there are times when I get a little upset at some messages I get, but it's like I can't take them to heart because everybody has their own opinion on how things should be, and I'm to the fact that this is my podcast and I'm going to do it the way I like it. If you watch it and you like it, fine. If you don't like it, there are so many podcasts out there. There's one for everyone, and maybe ours isn't for you. So that's how I've had to look at it lately, because not everybody agrees with how things are done. So,
well, and also I think it probably depends on how people present them, right? Ideas, because you know what? Hey, it's always great to, that's a good idea. You know, have you ever thought of doing that or whatever? But
yeah, and I mean, I take cues from other podcasts. I had a viewer who didn't like the fact that I drank a beer on the podcast. You know, what are you gonna do? I'm an adult. I can have a beverage in my own home while I'm recording a video. As long as I'm not getting plastered, that's fine. So.
Yeah.
Like I said, everybody likes different things and everybody likes different personalities.
Absolutely.
And basically, what you see on these videos is what you get in person. Like, we had True Canuck Girl, Sarah of the Canadian Knitter Podcast, came down in July, and she literally said, "You are exactly like you are on the podcast." And I'm like, yeah, this is it. This is what you get. I'm not faking it. I'm not trying to make myself something I'm not.
Yeah.
So, bitch, she regrets it now.
I regret what?
Not coming onto the podcast.
Well, I was like, what in the world?
The whole concept of podcast was still upcoming.
Well, and I only started watching podcasts
because of us.
But you started this 3 years ago.
Yeah.
I only just started watching podcasts this spring.
Yeah, like you would watch us every once in a while.
I did not. The whole concept did not compute.
And then you were watching someone from Iceland who stopped recording, and you said, "I need to find someone new," and that's when I told you to go watch Disa.
Yeah, and then from there I started trying other ones. But it's true, there are so many different styles. You know, some people like you're watching an individual who's doing something that comes authentically from them. You know, if we walk into a room, there will be some people that we connect with and then other people that we just don't.
Yeah, and
so it's the same thing, right?
Yeah, we each have our own personalities. We have the way we do things. We have the things we like, but you might not like, you know, like, and we're different in personalities as well, you know, like.
Absolutely. And I mean, I've tried all kinds of podcasts, and sometimes the person is clearly doing interesting things and is a nice person, but
it doesn't click.
It just doesn't click for me, you know, and that's okay.
And I was to the point where I would watch every podcast that came out, and finally I went, okay, whoa, I need to pick a few.
Yeah,
because this is becoming an addiction.
Yeah, and you know what? And it's interesting because you really, it's so personal when you're watching a podcast. that person is speaking to you, and so you connect with them, and they know that they're connecting with people out there, right?
Yeah.
But you know,
we're talking to a camera.
I know, because I'm thinking, if I see you know, Kristen from Yarngasm at Rhinebeck, I'm gonna be like, oh,
you know her.
She doesn't know who I am, you know. Obviously, I'll go up to her and introduce myself and say, hey, I'm one of your, you know, I watch your podcast on a regular basis. But it's an intimate, interesting thing. And I think what I've started to really enjoy is that it's like sitting with somebody you know in your living room,
having that cup of coffee,
glass of wine, whatever, and you know, and
you're investing your time in watching. And so if you're not enjoying it, then why are you investing your time?
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm going to be brutally honest, not everybody likes our podcast, and that's fine. I have no offense to that at all. It doesn't offend me in any way, you know, so.
Well, you just can't.
You can't please everybody.
And you know what? There are so many. It's true.
Well, I started a list in the Two Tangled Skeins podcast.
There must be hundreds in there.
Oh, I'm still adding to it all the time. So there is like the mega list. And I think I've shared it. Who did I share it with? I shared it with another group. And yeah, it's like, it's a huge list. And as people tell me that there's more, I'll keep adding to them.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's hundreds.
Constantly. So it's great. And I think it's true. You can't watch all of them. You have to choose a number that
I have my regulars, and then if I hear of a new one, I will go give them a try, and I won't just watch one. I'll watch 2 or 3. Because on your first podcast, I know how I felt in our first one. I can't watch that. It's just painful.
Yeah.
And and I don't feel so bad because I went back and watched the Knit Girls' first podcast, the Stockinette Zombies, like all these popular ones, and you're like, okay, we all did the same thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Everyone's nervous in the beginning, and
how do I look, and how do I sound, and how's the picture, and
what do you want to talk about?
Yeah.
That can change too. By the way, I remember the question that went out of my head.
Okay.
And it's a totally silly little practical question, but do you have to walk around with cash at these big shows,
No, a lot of people take credit, and you can use your debit. But I always carry some cash because there are some, and then if you're ordering food, you want to have cash.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So it's like going to a big craft show of any kind, really.
The way I do it, and this is my personal way of doing it, is I have a budget.
Okay.
So I say I want $300 American. Then I go to the bank and say I want $300 American. I know it's going to cost me probably $400 because of the exchange, but I give myself a number, and that's including gas, lodging, food, and my purchases. Like, I take all of that into account because, you eat out when you're at these things.
Absolutely.
And we eat good food when we're at these things. Like, really good food. Like, we've found some amazing vegetarian and non-vegetarian restaurants that are, like, mingled together. Like, because we have a friend that we travel with who's a vegetarian. And we have found the most amazing
that's
foods.
Great.
Oh. It's like, if you come to Maryland in May, there is a place, we're planning this.
She is creating a monster.
There is a place called The Orchard. Ask Lynn or Elizabeth about The Orchard. It is it's on the list. We go there every time now. And we just happened to find it because Liz was looking for a vegetarian restaurant. But, I plan a budget. And then if I know I have leeway with my own budget, like I know my own money, you will know your own money. And if I see something that I know I need to have this, I have to have it, and I can't get it at home, then I might break out my credit card.
Yeah.
But I talk to my husband before I go on trips. We agree that I have a budget. This is my budget, and unless it's something that, like, over the moon, I don't deviate.
Good for you.
Yeah. And I've gone to enough of them that I know. And I know most of the vendors at the big ones like Rhinebeck and Maryland. Like, we know the vendors. We know who's going to be there. We know what they have. So it's almost like after you've gone a couple times, you're just like, okay, I've done that. I've done that. And, like, when I went to Maryland, I wanted Addy Turbo sock rockets. And I wanted to try Chow Goose. I wanted to try 2 different kind of circular needles, so I sought those out and I bought those. But I usually just go on the website, look at the vendor list, see what they sell, what do I want, what do I
that's
need.
a good idea.
Join the Rhinebeck group on Ravelry. Okay. It's a good idea.
All right.
But yeah, so we have some other things. We have some coupon codes. So still going on is Amanda, aka Little Panda 518 from the Stitch Together 4G. What that means, and she explained it, I think, in our group. Stitch Together 4G means there's 4 generations of her family that have made crafts and sold them.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so I think that is really awesome. And she has given our viewers a coupon code for 15% off until September 23rd, and the code is all capital letters, TTS15. And Amanda also has a podcast called Stitching You and More. She is so sweet, so down to earth. I talk to her every single day. We have our little gang, as Sarah called it, on Facebook, and we're messaging like 24/7. We're on VKNs all the time. Like, we have a blast. She's awesome, and I love her. Rachel, who is Sweet Knits 1997, who is a senior in high school. She has Night Owl Fibers on Etsy. And we have yarn to give away for her later. And her stuff is phenomenal. And I know her mom from some VKNs. And so she has given a coupon code until the end of the year. And Tangled, all capital letters, will give you 10% off. Go check out her yarns. They're amazing. And you're like, you're a senior in high school. This is unbelievable. Like,
world craft domination.
Yeah.
It's great.
It's great, and I may or may not have ordered some stuff from her. She gave me and Lynn our own personal coupon code. How could I not?
That's awesome.
Carrie Lynn of Freckled Whimsy has given our viewers the coupon 2Tangled15, all capital letters, for 15% off until the end of the year. Darlene from Bags by Awesome Granny, you have a coupon code for 10% off, 2TS10. There's no expiry date. So that one's ongoing forever. Ever and ever. Then Lisa from 6 Munchkin Stitching has given our viewers a code 2Tangled10 for 10% off, and there's no expiration date on that either. So we have stash enhancements, and then we have the giveaways. And what are we doing? Just a bit over an hour.
Oh dear.
We're good.
Oh boy.
We're chatty Cathys.
Yeah.
So, show your stash.
Okay. Well, that'll be fairly quick. So, Lynn mentioned last time or the time before that she went to Juliana Fiber's open house. I did too. Now, the only thing I bought
Oh, the minis?
was the minis.
Okay.
I bought 10-gram minis, 10-gram minis. That's what I bought. And I guess I realized this is like a stash enhancement, an FO, and a whip all in one.
Fantastic!
Because I knit squares for my Happy Scrappy blanket, which I didn't bring today because I haven't really done a lot of work because I've been making...
You haven't connected it.
I've been making a lot, and I didn't connect them because I wanted to show them. So I bought minis, minis, 10 of these. This one's really cool. It's like
That's
a
the silver
sweatshirt
lining?
gray with like a bunch of neon speckles on it.
Mm-hmm.
And just,
Variegated.
yeah, all kinds. This one I really like too.
Hey.
We just froze.
Why did we just freeze? Oh, we're back. Sorry about that. We froze for a sec.
Yeah, I don't know.
Chatty Cathys.
So this is also a light blue that's got like candy cane speckles in it.
It almost looks like a speckled cake.
Yeah. And if you've been on her website, you'll see that, or on the her Etsy site, you'll see that she's starting to do some gradient yarns, which are very cool. I'm thinking about...
I didn't do it. And I didn't go to the open house because I actually wasn't feeling well that day.
So this is what the gradients look like.
Oh, that's the gray
crocheted.
One. That's beautiful.
So, yeah, and this is the purple one.
And then she's got a blue, right?
And she's got a teal blue kind of color. Yeah. And I think I'm going to have to break down and get a skein.
Does she still have some pre-orders open?
I believe she does.
Okay.
But they're really great. So
Cool.
That's it. And then, actually, in my conversation that day with her and Amy, who's Jasper Patch, they talked about dyeing with black beans. And so I wanted to give it a try. Now, black beans, dyeing with black beans can either go taupey, gray taupey, or blue.
Oh.
Yeah, it depends how you do it. And I was doing it to go for blue, which is apparently you put the black beans in cold water and you soak your yarn apart in alum and all that stuff. And I did that. You soak your black beans in cold water overnight and then you use that water as a dye. But mine went kind of gray taupe anyway. It's a beautiful color.
It is.
I'll show you an original. This is a Elspeth Lavelle Chunky. It's a so you can see that this is the cream and it's
it just
kind
said,
of a
Selma likes gray, so we're gonna do gray. Taupe.
yeah. So I'm not sure what this is going to become, but I'm going to try it again. We'll see what happens next time. I soaked the beans.
It could be the beans.
Could be. I left the bean water for a few days.
Yeah.
Maybe something happened to it during those few days. Maybe I didn't soak the yarn long enough in the solution. Maybe I didn't use alum. I used cream of tartar and a bit of vinegar. Maybe that was part of the problem.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, I'm going to try it again. It's all experimental anyway.
But that would make a really nice hat or a cowl.
There we go. Or down here. Or maybe on my hands. Yes. Anyway, or I might stripe it with the original, and it'll be sort of a light gray and white stripe.
It's really nice.
It is a beautiful color. It just wasn't quite what I was going for, but that's okay.
It happens.
Yeah, and I it's a neat experiment. That's neat. That's it for stash enhancements. Well, that's not even stash enhancement. That's old yarn that just got dyed.
I got my random mini skein shipment from No Makers, and it came wrapped up in this with like you know that rope? It's like burlap rope.
Yeah.
So it was
Twine.
wrapped in this twine. And these are the lovelies I got. These are pretty.
Yeah.
So I will go over the colors. This one is Pumpkin Spice Latte.
That's really lovely.
This one is Kicking Leaves.
That's a great fall color.
This one is Blue Jean.
Oh, again, it's coming out peacock when it's really more of a navy.
This one is called Gimli. That's a Lord of the Rings, or I might be getting that wrong. Scream at me, scream at the screen if I am. And this is a sparkly one. It's called Baby Gnome. I think it's the color that her child helped her dye.
Sorry, so these were from
No Makers.
Okay.
So this was my rando mini, my favorite things. And the last shipment is in November. So you sign up for a year and you get them every 3 months. You get 4 of them. Now my friend Mandy, who's Mandy Pinecone on Ravelry, showed me a really nice trick. She magic knotted them all, wound them into a humongous skein, and then is just doing her squares. And when she's done her squares, snips it, and moves on to the next one. Because these aren't big enough for me to do a square with.
No.
And I have a lot of them.
But you can put them together.
Yeah.
To make a, like, the blue and the purple, for example.
Well, that's what I mean. I'll stripe them in a sequence that I think will go nice together. So at least when there's a transition, it'll look natural. So, Amanda, you did a great job. We saw her at Stitches. The other thing I got, and I love it, it's my friend Julie, who is Diary of a Yarn Snob. She's Way Cool Jewels on Ravelry.
Oh, that's the podcast, right?
Yes, Diary of a Yarn Snob. And we did a trade. She got some yarn in a club shipment that she didn't really like, and I messaged her and said, I really like it. Would you want to trade some bags and stitch markers? And she was like, yes. But she sent it in this.
Which is the perfect box for Sue.
There was 2 boxes like this at Michael's, and I bought one. And she knew that. And the reason I bought one is because I saw hers on her podcast. So, you know. So, she sent me the yarn, which is amazing. It is Yarn Love.
Ooh, Yarn Love.
It is Audrey Hepburn, colorway Texas Blue Bonnet, 80% Polworth, 20% silk.
And I really like the sort of Art Nouveau style.
Yeah, the label.
Yeah, that's great.
With a couple of T's and some plain stitch markers.
Lovely.
But that's not all she sent.
Oh my goodness.
She sent 1, 2, and 1 for Lynn.
That is so
I knew
cool.
she told me she would send something for the 3 of us.
Oh, that's so nice. Thank you.
And so, do you like the button?
I love the button, and of course, I love the bag. It's like gray sparkly. What's not to love?
It says Yarn Snob. And inside are these, I've already seen this. So inside are these amazing tins, and she knows I love tins. It says keep calm and carry yarn. And I think they are by supernaturalYarns.etsy.com.
Oh, wow.
And
So
she made the stitch markers.
So this is a magnet.
Yeah. It
says peace, love, and knit.
She made these stitch markers.
This is like my first gift to you like this. That's so sweet.
Mine are green, of course. And I love the little owl.
Yeah, and this is beautiful.
What color are yours?
Blue.
Oh, beautiful.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Yep. So thank you
There's
so
the
much,
owl.
Julie. Love it. And I love the bag. Like, I love the bag. And our names are on them. Like, it's personalized. It's awesome.
Oh,
Did you not notice that?
no. And she picked the best color for me because this is kind of like a blue with a bit of a gray to it, and it's just gorgeous.
So thank you very much,
Thank
Julie.
you very much, Julie.
Now I have to find something to knit that with.
I was cleaning out the basement, as I mentioned earlier, at my mom's house, and I found some little tins. And I thought,
Notions.
you know what? They went out. Because I just thought, they were kind of old and stuff, but I was like,
Yeah.
what I
sentimental,
saved, and I forgot to bring was some fabric. A lot of things were saved. It was really getting rid of the obvious stuff.
Needs to go.
Yeah. No, then there's going to be a lot of sorting to do after.
The other thing I got, not last week, the week before, and I forgot to show it, and I'm very, very sorry and I'm not going to mention the person's name who sent it to me. She's a viewer, and she bought some yarn that's local to us to give to you guys. So, Riverside Studio, this is Superwash Merino Cashmere Nylon, and it is the Leah colorway. And this is a giveaway for you guys.
It's a beautiful green.
And I almost bought a skein of this at Twist, and I said, nope, don't do it.
Can I see it?
Yep.
Just to give a perspective of what the green is like. There's a little bit of green that's like my top, but then there's sort of lighter greens.
It's almost like
a
celery green and a sage green, and it's
a beautiful feel to it.
MCN.
Oh my goodness! You know what?
She's in Wakefield.
I am still an MCN virgin.
Well,
so I'm gonna have to. I think that's gonna be one of my goals for Rhinebeck.
MCN?
To get an MCN.
Oh, there will be lots of choices.
Yeah.
This is this week's giveaway. So I will open a thread. You have to be a member of the Ravelry group. If you're on YouTube and not on Ravelry, you need to go join because you can only win prizes by being a member. And it's one post per person, no chatter in the thread, and I will give a prompt question when I create the thread, and I don't know what it is yet because I'm not prepared. So thank you. If you're the viewer who sent this to me, you know who you are, but I'm not sure if I was allowed to mention your name, so I don't want to do that. Thank you very much. Now we have giveaways.
Oh boy.
So, the first one is Sir with the mustache. Mr. here is going to find a new home today. Now, I will go get the random number generator on the phone. And I need to open...
Ooh, we just got moved around.
Yeah, I have to open Ravelry because, I need to be able to see what I'm doing. All right. Oh, don't do... Oh, Windows. If you move your window to the edge of the screen, it blows it up. All right. Where's the Yarnet one? So we had 139 posts, which means there's 139 entries.
Mr. Mustache here. Is it Mustache, right?
Yeah.
You're a popular guy. I love that the little pink plug. It looks like he's going. Whoop.
Put it there on purpose.
It's very cute.
So I'm going to bring up random.org, and we're going to do number 2. And what did I say? 139?
Oh, something like that.
Yeah. Let me open this a little bit more. 139. Helps if I have the number selected. So let's see if you guys can see that. Oh, 139 and 2. Will you hit generate?
Generate.
Number 17, which is on the first page. Who is lucky number 17?
It's not me.
Love Knots.
Ooh.
Oh my, oh my, oh my. She wanted to win this so bad.
Well,
so
guess
bad.
what, lady?
Rachel,
get yourself one.
You have won the Yarnet, and I have your address, so I will mail it to you. And I won't be telling you this on the VKN. You're going to have to watch it. Which is funny because I entered a contest in one of the other girls, Andrea, who's the cat lady, and I won the prize in hers, so it's kind of like we're winning prizes. So
yeah.
Rachel, congratulations! You've been wanting one.
Yeah.
Yay! No, I better write
You
this
will now
down.
be able to walk and knit with ease.
Yep. She has 2 young boys and a dog, so that will really come in handy. Rachel is number 17. All right, the other one we have is the yarn from Rachel, who is Night Owl Fibers.
Yeah, you know what? I don't know.
I know. Lynn was like, we're giving that away?
I'm
like,
telling
yes, yes, we are.
I'm telling you. This one is supremely
And it's sparkly.
gorgeous. And it is sparkly. And the colors are just fantastic.
Yeah, so that is
And
Rainbow Sparkle. It's 400 yards. And you also win her pattern, which is the Log Cabin Slouchy. So we had...
I don't know. I don't know if we can do this, Sue.
94... Not... 94 entries.
Yeah, it's just
Mm-hmm.
stunning. And I love it when they're in balls like this.
Gobstoppers. That's what they're called. Never-ending gobstoppers.
Yeah, they're great.
So, 2 to 94. I can't see my thing. There we go. So we will hit generate again. Yes, you have to.
76.
76.
I don't think that's
Who?
me.
Oh, it's Rose for Lisa. My friend Lisa from one of the VKNs. I love rainbows because they are a sign to me of a higher power making the world a more beautiful place for us.
The Covenant.
So send me your address, and I'm pretty sure it's Lisa.
It's funny because when...
Yes, Lisa from, I can't say that.
What?
Cuyahoga?
Sorry, Cuyahoga?
Cuyahoga?
I don't have my glasses. That's a
Falls.
Y, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Lisa, please send me your address, CraftyKnitter7, and I will get your prize out to you. So, 76, Rose 4.
You are going to enjoy that yarn because it is very beautiful.
It's very beautiful.
Very beautiful.
Now, I have one last thing I want to show, and this is something that I'm possibly making to add to my Etsy shop, and I'm going to be sending them out to testers to tell me what they think. I'm making magnetic for your charts to keep rows. So you know what row you're on. Oh, God. So I've made a few. These are actually for Rachel, who is Love Knots.
Oh,
I've made a few.
Double package.
She's getting, and what I've done is most of these come where you can see the magnet on the inside. I've covered it completely. The reason I've covered it completely is so that I can get my magnets to line up on the sides. So they're not, you know how sometimes they're off-centered?
Yes.
So there's three sizes. There's a 7 inch, a 6 inch, and I think this was a 3 inch, and this would be perfect for like a bookmarker. So I made...
Right. So they're multi-purpose. They're not just for knitting patterns.
No, knitting patterns, you're reading books, you're like, my friend Mandy works out of Lowe's, and she's like, oh, when I'm doing inventory, I can put that on my page. Like, So I made this set for Mandy. So I'm just buying like different kinds of ribbon. So that's got polka dots on it, and it's got the green, that's Rachel's. This one has different colored polka dots, pink and purple. And then I made a duo for you. I didn't make the bookmark one yet, but if you want one, I can.
No, this is going to be cool. Thank you.
You're welcome. Now,
They're really lovely.
I don't think you can put 2 pages in between because of the extra fabric from the ribbon. I'm not sure. I've tested like holding the paper up with one.
Let's try a couple of pages and see what happens.
Mm-hmm. So once they're tested, they'll probably come into the shop. Yeah,
it doesn't work.
It's because of the extra fabric.
Yeah, but it works fine.
And it doesn't come off.
With 1 page. There it is. Whoops. Hanging.
Yeah. So that's something
Very
that's going to be
neat.
coming to the shop soon.
Thank you, Sue.
I'm sending one to Rachel, to Mandy, Amanda, and Sarah.
And you know, if you're a shawl knitter, some of those charts are very complicated to look at when they're really big, so this would be perfect.
Trying to decide on size, and if you a regular sheet of paper, if you have it on a regular sheet of paper folded over, you're getting most of the page. There. So you're getting most of the page. So I might make an 8-inch one that'll go across the whole sheet. But I wanted these tested out in this size first, because the reason I'm doing 7 and 6 is because of the length of the strips that I get. I'm trying to get the most out of them, and the reason I made these small ones is because I have leftovers.
Well, and they can also just be page markers, right?
Yeah, That's what I mean, like for a bookmark.
Exactly.
And the way I like a bookmark is, if I want to use it for a book I'm reading, I will put it on the line that I'm on.
Absolutely.
So.
Fantastic.
So I will be sending those out. And we're at an hour and 24 minutes, and we haven't even talked about Chanel yet. You need to talk about that.
Oh my goodness, completely forgot about Chanel.
Do it.
Let me just say that I just finished the heel. So fast, so cute. Oh, just adorable. You know, when my daughter's feet were this small, I kissed them all the time. I loved her feet. And I'm knitting this little sock going, man, I loved those little feet. Just reminding me of them. So adorable. All right, so I think last time I was on, I mentioned how, I don't remember what the context was, but I remember...
You talked about the Chanel suit.
I did, but I don't remember why.
Because you were talking about your mother was a knitter and she can't knit anymore.
Yeah, and I was saying that I would never be, despite the fact that I knit a lot of sweaters, I don't think I'll ever be the knitter that my mother was. So my mother, and this suit is from the 60s. It's a Chanel style suit. I don't know if it was a Chanel pattern, but you know, my mother was born in Finland and they learned every craft. I mean, rug hooking, tatting, all the fiber arts, everything. And of course they also designed things. So there is a skirt. Oops, the skirt's over here. There is a straight skirt, and this is a kind of a brown tweed yarn with a black boucle stripe really on it, and it's very, and you know, there's an elastic waist and the whole thing.
But it's very structured, like a Chanel suit.
It's a very structured suit, and here is the jacket.
Look at that.
And she can still fit into this. My mom's one of those people who has stayed the same size all her life. I'm not one of those people, but with pockets, there is a band on the inside. It's just a beautifully made suit, and it fits really well, and just incredible details, like just, you know, there's stockinette here, and then there's this sort of braided, someone's going to know what this is called.
Latvian braid?
I don't know what that's called.
That's a Latvian braid.
Yeah. So I just felt like this really needed to be shown off.
It's beautiful.
And I tried it on this morning, and it just fits really, really nicely. And so there you go, 1960s.
And
here
it's
we
like,
are. Could still wear it.
Yeah.
Looks great. It does have a couple of little moth holes in the skirt, so I'm gonna have to figure out what to do with that.
But right here. Is that one on this side? Yeah, I have my finger in it.
Yeah, not too much though, but yeah.
You'll be able to fix it.
Yeah, no, it's just, even the pockets, she's got that braiding on the pockets here.
Yeah.
Just
detail. That's what Chanel suits were about.
Yeah, simple cut.
But detail.
But detail.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Very nice.
Another show off thing.
So, yeah, we're at an hour and a half.
Sorry.
Oh well. Watch, don't watch. Watch it in 2 parts.
Well, I've certainly done that with some podcasts,
yes,
right?
So have I.
When they're 2 hours long.
Yeah.
1 hour tonight and 1 hour tomorrow.
Yeah. So that's it for this week. Check out the group for the new giveaway, and those who have won prizes, make sure you contact me. So that's it for this week.
Unless you don't really want this.
She has a coupon code in our group.
Oh, well. Yeah, no, that's really, really beautiful.
So, happy crafting of every kind, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah. Take care. Bye-bye.
Hello.
Hi.
Welcome to Two Tangled Skeins.
It's always a shock.
You never know who's going to be behind the camera.
And I realized we didn't actually talk about what kind of administrati I'm going to have to do, but I'll try and get in there.
That's okay.
Okay.
So, Two Tangled Skeins. I'm Sue, also known as Crafty Knitter 7. I'd like to welcome any returning viewers and any new viewers who have joined. And this is Saturday, September, why did I write 12th?
That's next Saturday.
Oh boy.
Today is the 6th.
5th.
5th?
Yes. I should know that. My daughter's birthday's on Monday. And that would be a phone.
That would be a phone. I turned the volume down so that nobody would bother me. But they still found me. Sorry.
That's okay.
Should we start over?
So, no, we're not going to start over. Unless you want to stop and start over, and this will be our blooper.